Many people must have tried to bury the pits. Bury the remaining pits in the soil to see if they can germinate. But 90% of them will end in failure. Why is that? In fact, the cherry pits, that is, its seeds can germinate. But everyone's method is wrong. Collect the cherry pits. Clean the remaining flesh and dry them. The shell of the cherry pit is very hard, which is one of the reasons why it is difficult to germinate. We need to use pliers to crush the shells one by one. The real seeds are inside the cherry pits. If you directly use the paper towel method to germinate seeds, it won't work, because cherry seeds need a period of cold dormancy to germinate. We can wrap the seeds in a wet tissue and then put them in a self-sealing bag or box and store them in the refrigerator for 60 days, and then take them out to sow. You can also put the dry cherry pits in the refrigerator and then break the shell and sow them into the soil. The temperature needs to be above 10 degrees Celsius. This method can simulate the winter dormancy in the natural environment and the spring germination process, transforming the seeds from embryonic state to growth state. In short, it is to germinate the seeds. Winter is over. Spring is coming. It's time to sprout. 39 days later, when the seedlings grow 5 or 6 true leaves, they need to be transplanted into a large pot. 66 days later, the seedlings start to grow leaves crazily. After 125 days, because of regular watering, the leaves of the cherry tree are getting bigger and bigger. In 212 days, the cherry has grown. It has grown from a seed to a 46-centimeter tall tree. It will take 4 to 6 years to bloom and bear fruit. If you want to shorten the time, you need to do grafting in spring. Choose a cherry tree that has borne fruit. Cut off branches with buds as scions. Use a young tree as the rootstock. Use the cleft grafting method to graft the rootstock in scion. With the same diameter helps to improve the survival rate. In fact, it's hard to eat cherries you grow yourself. Several conditions need to be met. First, most cherry varieties need a certain amount of cold in winter to bloom and bear fruit. The suitable planting areas are in Shandong, Jiangsu, Liaoning, Beijing, Hebei, Henan, Shaanxi, Shanxi, Ningxia, Sichuan, and so on. This excludes most people in the south. Some people will say that you can grow Brazilian cherries in the south. Try it. Brazilian cherry is also called Brazilian cherry. It is not the same as the real cherry at all. Not to mention, it's not tasty. Second, although cherry is a northern fruit tree, but it can't be too far north. It is a warm-loving plant, with an annual average temperature between 10 and 15. It will freeze below -20 degrees in winter. It is afraid of strong winds, clay, and saline alkali land. It is afraid of both drought and waterlogging. The soil pH value should be between 5 and 8. Third, most cherry varieties are pollinated by cherry blossoms. That is to say, you'd better plant more than 2 trees at once, 2 different varieties of cherry trees, and ensure that they bloom at the same time. Pollinate each other. This is why many people only plant one. The reason why they only bloom, but don't bear fruit.